Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to welcome you all here this morning to this very important ceremony. The formal thing I need to say is that it's on behalf of the Senate and the Council that I formally declare this convocation for the conferring of degrees open. I hope and believe and am sure that you'll have a very happy, cheerful, exuberant ceremony. For the moment, will you please sit down?
Distinguished guests, parents, families, friends, and most importantly, graduating students, good morning. We are here on a special day, perhaps one of the most memorable of your lives, the culmination of years of education at a higher level and the beginning of new challenges, perhaps in further study or in new careers. You have worked hard and studied hard, and you've succeeded. You've done your job. And now, as President and Vice-Chancellor, it's my job to welcome you here to this degree congregation, where we formally recognise your outstanding achievement. You graduate today from a leading UK university, committed to international excellence through the creation of world-changing research and high-quality, inspirational teaching. Leicester is consistently one of the most socially inclusive of the UK's leading universities, with a long-standing commitment to providing fairer and equal access to higher education. Because of your time at Leicester, you will have a better chance of finding the career that you want. 3/4 of the new jobs created between now and 2020 will be in occupations with a high concentration of graduates, while the unemployment rate for graduates is less than half of that for people who've not been able to complete tertiary education. Your employability is a testament to the skills that you will have learnt in your time here, and they are endless. You can write dissertations, master languages, solve simultaneous equations, work in teams, and take on particularly testing exam questions. But at the University of Leicester, our purpose is to equip you not just with an education, but with something broader, with the spirit of intellectual inquiry, with a deep curiosity. Most of all, we hope that we've shown you the joy of intellectual discovery. The research conducted here at the university spans all the way from the discovery of lost kings and microscopic DNA to the telescopes and space vehicles that explore the furthest stretches of the universe. This past year has seen a number of significant achievements. Our new £42 million George Davis Centre was opened this year. It's the largest building in the UK built to Passive House standards, which means that the building will use virtually no energy for heating or cooling. It's named in honour of George Davis, the founder of Next, George at Asda, and Per Una at Marks and Spencer's, who provided a gift of £5 million to fund a new vascular limb salvage clinic here at the university. Indeed, our donations to this university over the last year have broken all our records, with record gifts for transformative kidney research and mesothelioma research as just two of that long list. Our ambitious project to replace the roof of the world-famous Stirling-designed engineering building saw all 2,500 glass panels of the diamond-shaped roof structure replaced to exacting standards. The Daily Telegraph has included the engineering building in a national list of the 50 most famous structures in the UK. Included on that list are things like Hadrian's Wall and Stonehenge. Among its many plaudits, it was listed in Historic England's list of the best post-war buildings. This year, we also saw the opening of our new Dalian campus in China. the first intake of 168 students. Our engineering, chemistry and maths programs are identical in China and here in the UK, and it means that students from China will be able to come here as part of their degree, and students from the UK will be able to go in the other direction. Watch this space over the next few years as we expand our operations even further across the globe. Susie Imber from our Physics and Astronomy department won the BBC show Astronauts, Do You Have What It Takes? She received training and a personal recommendation from the International Space Station astronaut Chris Hadfield. And our university is the only university in the UK involved in the Juno mission to study our solar system's largest planet, Jupiter. Described by NASA as their most difficult project ever, the spacecraft has travelled 2.8 billion kilometres and will orbit Jupiter 37 times. Finally, we discovered a new 430 million-year-old fossil, which we named in honour of David Attenborough, who grew up here on this university campus when his father did my job many years ago. The reputation of our research impact was backed up in November at the Times Higher Education Awards ceremony, the equivalent in higher education of the Oscars. The Times Higher said, "The University of Leicester has shown time and again that it produces world-beating research and groundbreaking discoveries. Our data now show that it also punches well above its weight in terms of bang for the buck." Of course, it's this spirit of discovery that we hope we've instilled in you as a graduate. Discovery is about imaginative new thinking, underpinning fundamental advances in our understanding of the world around us and applying that expertise to business and community needs, delivering solutions to the global and personal challenges that we encounter along the way. We can't promise that the years ahead of you will always be easy, but if we've done our jobs right and equipped you with the values that sum up what it means to be a University of Leicester student, you will find your way through, just like the 180,000 Leicester alumni who've gone before you. Our history and achievements are going to attract particular attention this year. November the 11th will be the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. It'll also be the 100th anniversary of the establishment of the Endowment Fund for the University College of Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland, the forerunner to our university. We're one of only 2 universities in the world that has been established as a living legacy to World War I, and plans are well underway for celebrating that centenary. We hope you'll be able to join us in these, which will lead up to the anniversary in 2021 of 100 years since we opened our door to our first students, all 9 of whom were women. You should remember and reflect on our university's beginnings, and we trust that this will not be the last we see of you as you join that community of alumni around the world, many of whom stay in touch regularly. Your loved ones here today are proud that you're graduating. And for those family and friends in the audience, don't feel shy about clapping and cheering your loved ones as they cross the stage. You won't get many days like this. For those of you who are graduating, we hope that you're as proud of the university that served you as we are of you. I congratulate you on the degrees that you've obtained, and on behalf of the University of Leicester, I wish you every success. Well done.
Will all graduands please stand?
Now we're asking you to stand just for a moment while I pronounce the formal conferment of degrees. before we ask you later on to come up in groups onto the stage. So it's by the authority of the Senate that I admit candidates both present and absent to the several degrees for which they are presented. So that's well done now. We know we're all authentic, and would you please sit down for a moment and then we'll call you up in due course.
Mr. Chancellor, as Head of the College of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanities, I present the following candidates for their degrees. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Hussein Hassan.
Congratulations, Steve. Well done.
Ali Polat.
Well done. Doctor, very good.
Denise Savinch.
Well done, Denise. Good stuff.
Bethany Suttle.
Well done, Bethany. Doctor, eh?
Johan Zhang. For the degree of Doctor of Social Science, Angela Elul Fenek. Sarah Howling. Nermin Minesi. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Maha Adham. Amelia Mamle Ahegbegbu. Angela Ahmed. Mojisola Ajayi. Hani Ani Hamwede. Abdul Al-Sadi. Saha Al-Sharif. Olubunmi Archer. Pamela Bedra. Amente Belachu. Loué Bissa. Julienne Chebeyiwa. Muvari Petrona Clark. Manam De Silva. Mohammed Imam. Salah Gazla. Lois Gashuri. Christine Gaithiji. Ahmed Hamza. Reed Heskis. Repi Kalav. Bassam Kwele. John Kimodiu. Theodoros Kounas. Stylianos Kyriakakis. Wael Lalabat. Cheya Devi Lalsing. Olesia Lane. Aikele Lee Kwango. Evans Maynor. Faisal Manier. Grant Meyrari. Beryl Messiah. Aisha Mohammed. Egna Shamiso Mumben Gegwi. Maxon Musa Natala. Ogechi Obeodu. Ruth Obwaya. Mary Ogola. Kenneth Ogwo. Albert Ukpu. Joanna O'Neill. Obiagele Loveleen Oyekere. Michael Hoyekon. Unatibin Patel. Syed Saad Shakil. Michael Sheehan. Monsura Shitu. David Ebukfong Thomas. Stelios Trakonitis. Mohammed Marzain Tolemat. Lynn Waylahan. Basil Youssef. Ioannis Zikas. For the degree of Master of Science in Accounting and Finance, Parintorn Cherirangsi. Yachian Gao. Yu Chen He. Yanan Ju. Vienda Liang Kuyenda. Yifan Li. Yichi Li. Chen Liang. Jia Shuang Liu. Xu Jun Liu. Si Hui Liu. Di Luo. Ting Ting Niu. Xuan Pang. Yuan Hui Zhang. Ming Fu Shen. Sheluan Su. Peilen Huang Sun. Yuan Tang. Jing Wang. Jihan Wang. Ro Chi Wu. Chen Xiang. Li Shu. Qi Yu. Kong Zhang, Ye Zhou Zhang. For the degree of Master of Science in Banking and Finance, Khadija Al-Dalal. Marios Adreu. Wei Ling Kai. Li Ming Lu. Sihan Liu. Victor Popescu. Jing Yi Wu. Ying Yang. Jishen Yang. Jiyang Zheng. Ray Zhang. For the degree of Master of Science in Business Analysis and Finance, Soraya Al-Kindi. Cao Tian Min. Xin Zi Liu. Abdulmanaf Mohammed. Raulan Ning. Vijay Subramanian. Zi Chin Wang. Xu Chang. Wei Zhang. Xue Zhao. Chongyang Zhou. Xiao Qian Zhou. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Olalekan Adesola. Ileana Alexapoulou. Ariana Apostolou. Daniel Balin. Tianji Dai. Denisha Daniel. Ling Ling Du. Bing Han. N.U. Huang. Cecilia Kalenga. Martin Kyre. Anping Lee. Shonshin Lee. Yu Yang Lee. Jacob Mawunga. Jeremy Nelson. Nuduka Obia Igwe. Samuel Apare. Olubukola Oseni. Egberto Riveros Saavedra. Jack Seddon. Fan Shen. Meng Yang Shen. Jia Li Shi. Yen Chu Xie, Han Yi Shui, Modupe Shawumi, Beige Yang, Wen Dan Ye, Hao Zhang, Wen Tao Zhou,
You may be surprised to know, if you have one of these notes in your wallet, that you already have a contract with our honorary graduand. It reads, "I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £10," and is signed Andrew Bailey, Chief Cashier. Andrew was Chief Cashier of the Bank of England from 2004 to 2011. And he says that taking a new banknote from a blank sheet of paper through the process to circulation, as he did with the Adam Smith £20 note, was a particularly interesting aspect of the role. But be careful, those old £10 notes ceased to be legal tender on the 1st of March. Bankers, according to surveys, are regarded by the public as a particularly untrustworthy profession. And it is a little comfort to them that they are seen as more trustworthy than journalists and politicians. But Andrew Bailey is no ordinary banker. For much of his career, and particularly in his present role as Chief Executive of the Financial Conduct Authority, he has been responsible for upholding the highest standards of probity in the financial services sector. Andrew comes from Leicester, where his father was a head teacher. He himself was educated at Wigston Boys Grammar School, as it was then called, now the sixth form college next to the university's main campus. Although he cannot recall his career ambitions at that time, he is pretty confident that they did not extend to being a central banker or a financial regulator. A successful school career was followed by an equally successful university one, as Andrew proceeded to achieve a first in history at Cambridge and then to take a PhD on the impact of the Napoleonic Wars on the development of the cotton industry. This led to a brief spell as a researcher at the London School of Economics, but Andrew concluded that he was not called to the academic life. The Bank of England, which he joined in 1985, offered a far more interesting path. There, at the heart of the nation's economic affairs, he held positions of increasing importance. Perhaps most significant for his personal development, from 1996 to 1999 he was private secretary to the then governor, Eddie George, Steady Eddie as he was known, for whom Andrew came to have considerable respect as a man of great judgment and with a strong commitment to the bank and its values. This was a period of significant change, when on the one hand the bank took responsibility for setting interest rates through the Monetary Policy Committee, while on the other, supervisory responsibility for the financial services industry was transferred elsewhere. From 2007 to 2011, Andrew played a vital role in ensuring that the country survived the financial crisis, taking responsibility for the bank's operations to resolve the problems in the banking sector. The present governor, Mark Carney, has said he regards Andrew's work in managing the crisis and developing a new regulatory framework as exemplary. We should not forget how desperate the financial crisis was, both in the UK and around the world. Famous and seemingly unshakable names, which might have thought they were as safe as the Bank of England, like Lehman Brothers, Lloyds Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, either went bankrupt or had to be bailed out. Economies around the world were locked in recession. Individual investors, large and small, suffered. And it is a matter of lasting sadness to Andrew that the financial crisis caused so much pain to so many. In such circumstances, steadiness, clear thinking and vision were needed. Andrew Bailey has provided them. In April 2013, he became the Chief Executive of the new Prudential Regulation Authority. And then in 2016, he was appointed to his present position as Chief Executive of the Financial Conduct Authority, responsible for maintaining the integrity of the UK's financial markets through the regulation of all the many firms, banks, building societies, financial advisors that provide financial services to consumers. It specifies the standards, carries out investigations, and can impose bans. We all have an interest in its effectiveness, and it is not surprising that the FCA is subject to close critical attention. The FCA, and indeed the name of Andrew Bailey, are rarely out of the news. Controversy is never far away. Within the last fortnight, for instance, with regard to the treatment of small businesses by the Royal Bank of Scotland. Understandably, one of Andrew's principal concerns at present is the impact that leaving the EU will have on the sector he regulates, and whether the UK will be able to maintain open financial markets. He is also troubled by increasing levels of indebtedness and lower levels of savings at younger ages, with the consequences this may have for retirement in future generations. Andrew's is a huge and exceptionally demanding job, so it is reassuring that our chief financial regulator is capable of escaping its pressures with his family, his greatest satisfaction in life, and that he still finds time to disappear with them twice a year to a small community in Idaho, his wife's home state, to go skiing and mountain biking. As the then Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, said at the time of Andrew's appointment to the FCA, Andrew is simply the most respected, most experienced and most qualified person in the world to do this job. Anyone who has dealt with Andrew knows he will be tough but fair and understands the flaws and merits of the sector better than anyone. That is an accolade that we are happy to endorse today. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present Andrew John Bailey that you may confer upon him the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Laws.
Well, thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, Public Orator. It's absolutely a great pleasure and privilege to be here in my hometown and to get an honorary degree from Leicester University. As the Public Orator said, it's even more so because I spent 7 and a bit years at school next door at Wiggiston. And there are very good reasons to be very proud of Leicester. For me, its long record of outstanding social tolerance stands out amongst those. Now, as the orator said, people sometimes ask me what I wanted to be when I was at school. I wish I could remember, as he said, is the easy answer, but I have to confess it was not at the time to be a central banker. And as one of my colleagues at the FCA said, you don't ask many kids at school and hear them say, I want to be a financial regulator when I grow up. It's not something you hear every day. But if I turn that question around for a moment, you probably deserve a better answer to the question why you're still going at it after nearly 33 years. And that's actually a very easy question to answer. I've never ceased to enjoy the challenge of difficult public policy issues, and I can tell you, and I will tell you in a moment, that they keep coming. And I consider myself exceptionally fortunate to be doing something that I enjoy so much, because to be honest with you, so many people in the world don't get the chance to enjoy their work as much, and I think that's a great thing to aspire to as a graduate. But after 33 years, it is possible to reflect a bit on the things that I've seen and the things that I frankly still only understand imperfectly. In our world, one of the big questions is, why does it take major crises to fundamentally change the approach and to enact much needed reforms? If you take the Bank of England and the Financial Conduct Authority together, they're responsible for monetary stability, the stability of the financial system, and conduct in the financial system. And there have been two major crises in my lifetime, one before I started at the Bank of England and the other during my career. The first crisis was the global inflation crisis of the 1970s, and the second was the global financial crisis starting just over 10 years ago. The first led to a shift to low inflation as the explicit goal of monetary policy around the world, including operational independence and the creation of the Monetary Policy Committee in the Bank of England in 1997. And as the orator said, I was fortunate to be involved in that as Private Secretary to Eddie George, the then Governor of the Bank of England. And if you ask me the question who has had the most profound influence on my career and how I approach the challenges and what lessons I draw that I apply today, it is without doubt Eddie George. Inflation has become rightly the explicit focus of monetary policy, so much so that it's odd to think that in the past this was not the case. For me, the definition of why inflation matters and when it matters comes from Alan Greenspan, the former chairman of the Federal Reserve Board. He said that inflation is an issue when it reaches a level such that on its own it becomes a factor in the decisions people take, whether to buy something, to invest now or later, or not at all. Now, it's often said that Alan Greenspan has a way with words, and that's usually a lot of words. And I should warn you that somewhere central bankers learn to write very long sentences with many subclauses. It's a sort of gift. But what does it mean for real? Well, let me tell you a story about Leicester University. In 1975, Britain had an annual inflation rate of 24%. I was at school next door, and I needed to buy the annotated text of one of Shakespeare's plays. I can't honestly remember which one it was, I have to confess. So I did what you did in those days. I came to the Leicester University bookshop, which was next door to us. And the price of the book was £1.50. Yes, you could buy a book for £1.50 then. For some reason that I can't explain to you, I'm afraid, I don't remember, I didn't buy the book on that day. And I came back a week or two later, and the price had gone up, by means of just putting a sticker on the very book that I'd been looking at when it was priced at £1.50. So that's a real example of the Greenspan definition of inflation at work, and it's the one that I remember. I'm not quite, though, going to say that Leicester University bookshop caused me to become a central banker. There were about 10 years in between, I have to say. But 10 years ago, we were in the midst of the hand-to-hand combat of the financial crisis. Today, it seems a little bit hard to remember just how desperate and unpredictable those times were. But as I said, crises have a way of shaping responses. Adversity focuses the mind. And it brought into dramatic relief the public policy objective of the stability of the financial system. As someone once said, you certainly see financial stability in sharp relief when you don't have it. Out of the crises has come much stronger regulatory standards and much clearer public policy objectives, both here and internationally. Now, what we didn't know at the time, in the heat and immediate aftermath of the crisis, was how important, in my view, strong international regulatory standards would turn out to be today for another reason. We didn't foresee 10 years ago there was going to be a referendum on UK membership of the European Union and a decision to leave. So why are these two things connected? Well, you sometimes hear a lot said, every day actually, you hear a lot said about trade and financial services, in which the UK is a world leader, and many of you have just graduated with degrees related to financial services, and many congratulations on doing so. Financial services is not really, contrary to what you may hear on some days in the news, really about traditional trade agreements. Wholesale financial markets, which is really what most of the argument is about, are open today not because of a trade treaty or because of the World Trade Organization, worthy though they are in other respects, but because we have international regulatory standards that protect the public interest. It wasn't the case that we had those standards 10 years ago, but the lessons of the crisis have, in my view, been learned. And these regulatory standards are more global than regional. So I think, hope and believe that the debate this year, which is going to get stronger, will be more focused on what level of regulatory alignment for the UK and the EU will enable continued open markets. Because there's no doubt that the continuation of those open markets is in the interest not just of the UK but of the EU as well. Now, the world can appear to revolve around Brexit these days, in the UK at least. To counter that notion, I want to end with 3 quick points which would be worthy of a lecture each, but don't worry, I'm not going to do that. But they're points that I think are fundamental to our future challenges in public policy, and we see at the FCA every day, more or less. First, as we said earlier, we have a growing intergenerational issue in many countries, including the UK. Growing debt among younger people, greater difficulty entering the housing market as first-time buyers, and levels of long-run saving for old age which are below past levels and below the levels needed in an environment of very low real interest rates. Second, we have, and this is good, we have a very fast pickup in the pace of financial innovation, which is opening up access to products and choices and demanding much greater access to our individual information as an enabler of that change. And there are many good things about that, but at the same time, we face constantly evolving threats from data loss and cybersecurity. And finally, there's a constant puzzle for me of why, at the same time that regulation gets smarter, the culture of firms and markets that we regulate is also shaped by the values and standards that prevail in society, and how these change over time. Adam Smith wrote in The Wealth of Nations that business interest is always in some respects different from and even opposite to that of the public. That can certainly be true, but in my experience, Adam Smith's observation needs to be developed somewhat in the sense that the interpretation of that meaning of the public interest has not been and never will be independent of broader societal values of which the business interest is one. And all these things and more should and will keep us occupied. So let me finish once again by thanking Leicester University for giving me this honorary degree. It's a great pleasure to be here. It's a great pleasure to receive what I think is an honorary degree in laws, as you put it, because I can finally say to our lawyers at the FCA, you know, I've got a law degree too. And I'm going to say that on Monday because it will change the balance somewhat. So I'm very privileged to be a recipient today. Thank you very much.
For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Economics, Shui Chen Chen. Sanjit Desi. Jun Rong He. Yu Wei Long. Gi O. Mali Ryder. Indraj Sagu. Li Yuan Seng. Bi Chan Zhang. Sei Chan Zhou. For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Risk Management, Brandon Bento.
Well done.
Abdul Karim Khalifa Diko. Eleanor Eliadu. Hui Ting Jiang. Andrea Cipriano. Ming Chao Liu. Andrea Mosfili. Aisha Patel. Antonis Petri. Van Pham. Dan Ying Sui. Kang Gang Shui. For the degree of Master of Science in Human Resource Management and Training, Edita Agalite. Jennifer Carrick. Shui Hang Chen. Yu Shan Chen. Athanasios Christolopoulos. Priscilla Civelli. Guo Xing Yi Gao. Sai Yuan Go. Xu Ting He. Xin Ning Huang. Yi Xuan Yang. Zhu Shan Jiang. Marina Kasianenko. Toru Koba. Zheng Quan. Ang Li. Yue Li. Si Ling Lin. Tianyi Liu. Zhen Liu. Chen Yi Man Lo. Marios Margos. Ratir Fitria Nageshari. Joanna Mina. Vusal Nuriev. Jennifer Obende. Abida Patel. Sophie Powell. Bolin Chian. Gabija Rakauskete. Aziza Satayeva. Yuan Tian. Si Chi Wang. Yu Wei Wang. Meng Ying Xia. Ya Hui Shu. Tao Yin. Ya Wen Yuan. For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Mosope Falua Ofolabi. Shuang Ni Bao. Lu Chen. Si Tong Chen. Yi Tian Tong Chen. James Chinnock. Udochi Dapa. Cleopatra Dimitriou. Pei Lin Go. Si Chen Go. Ri Xuan Hu. Omar Imad. Charlie Joyce. Vincent Law. Jun Yang Li. Pei Lang Yang Li. John Liang. Chi Yang. Ning Ching Ma. David Morgan. Nora Musioka. Chin Pan, Noor Rahim, Mukrawe Ratanawan, Shang Hong, Wai Yi Shek, Zhong Lan Shi, Nuozi Bezi, Ming Fei Sun, Tian Tian, Agiru Sotanidi, Jia Jun Wang, Hannah Williams, Du Hui Shi Chu, Wei Yong, Dian Dian Zhang, Jin Hao Zhang, Chu Lin Zhang, Zheng Zhang, Zhou Ya Kun. For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Finance and Accounting, Jin Yi Chen. Chen Pei Sheng, Li Deng, Han Gao, Chen Chen He, Mutinta Kalenga, Jia Wei Li, Hanji Liu, Zhou Zhou Liu, Van Hu Mei, Tian Qiu, Hao Ting Shou, Nati Te Charapongkon, Han Chun Wang, Wen Jing Yu, Qi Zhang. For the degree of Master of Science in Marketing, Abimbola Aneke. Alexander Beavis, Lewis Evans, Yao Fang, Ling Yun He, Rhys James, Joseph Kwashi, Shan Yi Li, Chen Liang, Zhong Lin, Yu Kun Liu, Ji Lu, Hao Feng Sun, Ladawan Tanla, Yun Hao Tian, Jasmine Van Skyke, Yi Yuan Wang, Meng Chi Wu, Tong Chi, Yun Che, Chun Yang, Lin Hui Yu, Amsa Zana Ibrahim, Heng Hao Zhang, In Min Zhang, Christina Shugun. For the degree of Master of Science in Performance Management and Workplace Learning, Tonga Lotho. For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, Stephen Drake. BT Farauko Ukoi. Patrick Howard. Arnaud Lautier. Philip Rawls. Emma Simpson. Craig Wellwood. For the postgraduate diploma in Business Administration, John Phillips. Robert Sharratt. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business Economics, Mohammed Khalil. Andrea Michael. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Ryan Collin. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Management Studies, Mofa Ayomike. Connor Barwick. Viraj Jotwani. Tapiwa Kanjakwa. Antonio Minkoff.
Well done, Antonio. Congratulations.
Can I just make sure I've got the right person? Are you Tapiwa? You're not. Dakau? Okay. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Management Studies, brackets, Finance, Dakau Ganedra. Shivam Parekh. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Management Studies and Economics, Matthew Liddle-Young. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Management Studies with Politics, Samantha Jane Erland. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Accounting and Finance, Sharif Chowdhury. Secundus Karuga. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Banking and Finance, Rishi Vadudaria. No? Are you Sandra? Okay, right. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Human Resource Management, Sandra Rohrbach. For the Diploma of Higher Education in Human Resource Management, Sumaya Sheikh. For the Professional Diploma in Management, Loran Grech Flores. Daniel Woodgate. For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Karga Hassan. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts Management Studies, Tapiwa Kanjakwa. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Kasim Shutu. And for the Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Risk Management, Chindinma Omegara.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've certainly been a pretty lively audience. That always, as well as the smiling faces, especially, I mean, almost a world record reception for a couple from there and there. Don't think we can't see you. There we are. It's always the ones at the back you've got to watch out for. And it's always a pleasure to see people enjoying themselves as well on what's obviously an important occasion, a ceremonial occasion and a valedictory occasion. But we might as well all enjoy it as well. And well done for all of that. And I hope you feel that the way that we've laid out the ceremony this morning is to your liking. We always enjoy hearing from an honorary graduate, and I thought we were done proudly by Adrian Bailey. I did enjoy listening to what he had to say. I'm sure you did as well. And the bit that I liked best was when he described himself as having been exceptionally fortunate to be doing something that he enjoys so much. And I think if I could wish one thing for most of you here in this hall is not so much whether you earn a fortune, I suppose that would always be nice, it would be whether you go into a particular career, or already in it maybe, which enables you to enjoy more days than not, because that is such a big part of your life. And certainly I've been fortunate in that front, where pretty well every day has been something that I've relished. So I certainly wish that for you. But I also want to thank Adrian for the way that he spoke to us, and a very worthy. It was nice when a Leicester born and bred recipient, and thanks very much for the address that you gave us, and I think we should acknowledge that. And what about the University Gospel Choir? I mean, what did you think of that? I was about to ask for an encore, but we'd run into the afternoon ceremony, so we perhaps get them up instead of me addressing you now. But I think no, I need my little slot. It's the bit at the end, and the courses that you've done. The one that always appeals to me. We get this every time at this time of the year. The master's degree in risk, crisis and disaster management. I mean, the mind boggles, doesn't it? I'd love to go on that, and I can think of a few people in high public office that could do with going on it as well. It's the range of subjects that always appeals to me. Now, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope that all of you who've obtained qualifications feel as proud of them as you should. They're qualifications that will stand you in good stead throughout your life. No one can take them away from you. And I'm able to announce to you all that your qualifications here today will retain the same high value whether we have a hard Brexit or a soft Brexit. Now, I'm always conscious when I'm speaking to people who've obtained postgraduate qualifications, sometimes several years after their first degree, of the particular problems that many of you have had to face. Very often there are competing demands of job and family, and sometimes it's quite difficult if there's been a gap between getting your first degree and your later qualification to get back into the habit of studying again. So I think that's a particular challenging environment that so many of you have overcome. And if you'll allow me one small personal indulgence, which is that I know exactly how you all feel today, because I'm a graduate of Leicester University and I sat in this hall. These ceremonies really haven't changed a great deal over the years, which I think is a good thing. It's the continuity of the place which we can be proud of as the years go by. So I know just how you'll will have been feeling waiting to come up onto the stage, in the sense maybe of relief that the course is over, and I hope, as I say, pride in what you've achieved. But I also hope that you'll feel proud, as I do, of the university where you've obtained your degree and your other qualifications. Leicester University will soon be 100 years old, founded, as you've heard from the Vice-Chancellor, in 1921 as a symbol of hope after the horrors of the First World War. And during that time, we've grown enormously in size and reputation. We score well in national and international league tables. Our levels of student satisfaction, as recorded in the tables, are consistently high, which doesn't surprise me. I was very happy when I was here. There were 2,000 students when I was here. There are more than 20,000 today. Yet amazingly, I do think as a university we've managed to retain a sense of closeness, even of intimacy. We're a very friendly place where size doesn't overwhelm. And I'm proud as well that we're enriched by having recruited students from the widest range of backgrounds and experiences. We've consistently recruited from parts of Britain with historically low levels of university entrance, from families where no previous member had ever attended university, as well as, of course, recruiting people from all over the world. And at the last count, we'd recruited people over the years from more than 150 different countries. I'm sure you'll have made friends here with people from backgrounds very different from your own, and you'll have gained much from knowing them as they will from knowing you. And I can tell you that I still retain contact with 3 of my friends that I met here at university, and that was 50 years ago in my case. And we meet up once a year and have an extremely enjoyable time. And I might as well tell you this, you've all collected your degrees now, so your qualifications. Of the 4 of us, that's the 3 friends and me, of the 4 of us, by far and away the most financially successful of us was the one who failed his degree. So things can never give up hope is, I think, the advice that I would give to anyone. And don't underestimate either what I can only describe as the strength of character that you'll have gained during the course of obtaining your qualification. Unless you're very fortunate indeed, you'll have had ups and downs. You'd have had periods of uncertainty, occasional losses of confidence. We all get those. Well, you've coped. You wouldn't be up on the stage today if you hadn't managed to cope with these challenges. And that's something else which I'm sure you'll decide find is helpful to you in later life. And isn't it great today, especially I can say this with feeling, that we've got so many friends and family that have been here attending to be your encouragement and support, and they certainly gave you some support today. So, well, why don't we show our support for them with a little round of applause for them all having been here. And as for your future careers, who knows what may bring. Who knows what potential, well, there's a lot of potential in the hall today, it goes without saying, but there may be someone who will be, let's say, maybe Governor of the Bank of England. You've done a lot of banking courses amongst you today, maybe great success in some other field, maybe in my field that I'm familiar with, maybe politics. You could be Chancellor of the Exchequer, possibly. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but that's a possibility that may be open to us. But whatever happens, I hope you'll enjoy the journey ahead, and I hope as well that you'll keep in touch with us, because in part at least your achievements are ours as well. And it's great for all of us here on the stage to know whenever former students of Leicester University go on to achieve great, not necessarily great, but interesting things which enrich the lives of the communities in which you live. And perhaps most important of all, I say this again as someone who's fought an awful lot of elections, won 4, played 8, won 4, lost 4 is my record so far, so that's about mid-table, I suppose, that I would say to you that I do wish you all the very, very best of luck. Luck's such an important ingredient in life. However much you try and minimise the element of chance, luck can play a very big part, and it certainly does in politics, where a few votes one way or the other can make all the difference between success and failure. So I simply say to all of you, warmly and sincerely, well done indeed for what you've achieved. In your future careers, every success and happiness, and perhaps most of all, good luck. Right, I know the last formal part of the ceremony, which is for me to declare formally that this degree congregation is now closed.